Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans, and we are inside Maui Comics and Collectibles. I am Aaron of the Rave Corner, and to my right we have Swan the War Chief, hashtag Encounters of the Nerdkind.
Well, hi there. I'm gonna do a Jeff Goldblum impression.
If only you had glasses.
I know, right? And if there's a giant dinosaur chasing me in a jeep. Hi.
All right, and joining us once again we have Nick Hopkins. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
So the reason why you're joining us today is, well, we do feel bad for subjecting you to Adult Swim infomercials. This time
you feel bad for him, and you made me watch that thing 4 times.
So we're gonna switch it up and do something that you particularly like, which is horror themed video games, basically.
Yes.
So in particular, though, the first thing that comes to my mind is, of course, Outlast, and I know you've played that as well. So the cool part about that is, for those who just heard of the title for the first time, Outlast is basically, how do I put it? It's one of the scenarios where no one would ever want to be in, because you are a journalist called Miles Upshur. You get a tip from somebody from the inside of this corporation who runs this asylum. And you get a report that something funny is going on. You go to the scene, and by the time you get there, all hell already broke loose, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then, all of the inmates have escaped, already escaped.
By the way, if ever anyone has ever told you, hey, come check out my mental asylum, don't go.
You never go to a mental asylum at all.
Yeah, no. On an anonymous tip, let's just go to a mental asylum.
That's the first
That's the part about the game that really bugged me, is the common sense you need is never there.
Yeah. It's like journalists will respond to any sort of scoop and not think twice about the potential danger that you may be.
Oh yeah, no, within like the first 5 minutes he finds an impaled soldier who tells him to leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I've got to follow this story to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Or by the time he realizes, you know what, I think this impaled guy has a point, he turns around and it's too late, he already got caught. Yeah. But so what's so cool about the game, at least in my opinion, is the whole thing where it's a first-person view, and because you're a journalist, of course you're not prepared. You just have your video camera as you video document your whole escape, and there is no fighting back. You just absolutely have to hide in the dark, underneath the bed, anything to avoid these crazies, to put it simply. But man, you got all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it was. I really enjoyed it from the standpoint of they take one of the biggest elements for a survival horror game, which is lighting, and they roll with it, because up until then I never really thought about how actual creepy night vision, dark filter on on photography is. Yeah, because that makes it even more terrifying when it's pitch black, and it's you could have a flashlight, or you could see everything in green with glowing eyes.
Oh yeah, that's the scary part, man.
That's the part of the game I never beat because I'm colorblind. I can't see green.
Well, yeah.
It's just a bunch of gray and black to me.
Have you ever seen, at least from the view of a night vision goggle, how everything is? You can't see hazy green, but is it at enough so you could actually see what's happening in the dark?
I'm just guessing where the heck I'm going. And that's what made the game a lot more scary for me, is because I couldn't see anybody or anything.
Yeah. So if you was Miles Upshur with your,
I'll be dead. I'm not gonna joke. I died in the first every time I tried playing. And whenever it comes to a night vision game, I hand the controller to someone else, and I just be honest, beat it for me. Okay.
Oh, poor Swan. I actually do feel bad. So. Yeah, so that's what it is. I don't know about you guys. Every time I think, you know what, I'll be fine. I'm never fine. I suffer from jump scares so easily. Oh yeah. All it takes is just one moment, and I'm already tense. Yeah. So, but and what's cool about that game is, again, from all the crazy inmates that escape, you have pretty much one of everything. You got this one big brute guy who will literally pull your head off if he wanted to. Yeah. You got the deranged doctor who does crazy experiments on you with no anesthetic. Yeah. You have cannibals, and you even have this weird deranged guy who's looking for a
since it takes place in a mental hospital, they definitely turn that crazy to 11.
Oh, they did.
They're like,
I see
here,
what
let's
you
have a
did there.
scene.
Yeah.
Let's have a scene where we're gonna have 3 guys sitting on a couch watching static on the TV.
That's true too. Even that was eerie
You're
because
just like, oh, you guys are just watching a blood, like that TV's covered in blood, and you're just watching the static like it's an actual show.
exactly. And as you walk across them, you think that you would get their attention, and they'd be like, "You, who the hell are you?" But no, they're just their eyes are still fixated on that. Doesn't matter if you're standing in front of them or not. So, Oh, so much creepy imagery. So.
Yeah, and then just like the prison cell with the naked brothers.
They're
true. Just like, let's give them a head start.
They're cannibalistic and they got machetes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you got the crazy priest who believes that
Miles
Upshur is the prophecy,
and he is just over the top,
crazy,
religious crazy, like where like his padded cell is like all of these Bible scriptures and stuff. And by the way, that's another really easy thing for a horror game to do. You want to make something creepy and
make the surroundings just as creepy.
Just make the settings like, you know what's creepy? Religion, not to offend it, but there's a certain
too late. We
feeling,
offended people. Keep going.
There's a certain feeling of, with religion comes the sense of being out of place if you aren't taking part of it. So like, it's just an easy way to put you already at a point where you're like, oh, I'm not welcome here.
It's just the point where somebody takes the general principle of a religion, but they take it way out of context.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of scary feel that Nick was referring to.
Yeah.
It's just that you have this priest who's in a sense Christian, but he took the meanings way out there to a point where he sees the journalist as a new prophecy, and now he's subjecting him to all kinds of crazy stuff that like Christianity is, or at least I guess the core foundations of Christianity does not necessarily strive for.
where he even thinks like the monster itself in the game, which I won't spoil, is the Holy Ghost. Yeah. And you're like, no, that is not correct.
Oh yeah, what's the name of the of that so-called, what he calls the Holy Ghost? What was it?
The Wall Rider.
The Wall Rider. That's it. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah, and that's the thing too. The thing that makes me, think too much of the game is this is owned by a corporation. But why would they ever run a prison that would obviously fail so many health violations? Oh, yeah. It's so run down, so beat up. Why would a corporation even bother, messing with that
It's one of those weird cliches of people like, let's try to make super soldiers. I think that, if I remember, that's what the premise was, sort of. They were trying to make super soldiers who are telepathic.
Yes.
And that will go well for us.
But it's so funny because they were using facilities that predates all the way back to maybe as modern as 1950s, if not earlier than that. And I thought, if you're a corporation, shouldn't you at least want a more modern sort of facility instead of something that has clearly been abandoned? But then again, it's corporation. They want things cheap for a bigger margin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just solved my own riddle. So so we had Outlast 1, and then there was 2, which was the guy who tipped Miles Upshur. Now we're following his story, and that's where within the same mental facility, that's where we found the other crazies, the cannibal.
Oh yeah, the whistleblower DLC.
The whistleblower, yes. So we're looking at the crazy cannibal who just have no particular taste on who he eats. He'll just find the nearest meat and eat it. And then we get introduced to the groom.
Yeah.
And I don't know, how do I put it? The groom is, just one of the craziest of the crazy. Yeah,
and that's where I feel Red Barrel really did an awesome job with both of them of just making everything unsettling.
Exactly.
And I mean, yes, it's cliched. It's cliched to put a scary game in a mental hospital or in a hospital.
Right. They got it right by saying it should be in a facility. Yeah. So that's one good way to put them in the right place. But you're right. It's the how far they were willing to go.
Yeah.
And let's see. So we had the groom. Before the groom, I always got a kick out of that one guy who does this whole bride and groom personality switch.
Oh, the split personality guy? That was my favorite character.
Yeah. He talks like himself, but then he starts changing it to a high pitch lady. Oh, but something like that. Oh man. But of the two, which one was your favorite? Did you like Whistleblower the most, or did you like the first one?
I liked the first one. Whistleblower was an interesting... It explained the why or how it got so bad. Because when you show up, you can only piece together how it eventually got bad.
Yeah.
This one really it shows the ground zero of when when it really went bad.
Yeah.
Because you're there. Everything just crazy starts to happen.
It has a really good tie-in, but I think you have a good point. The difference between Outlast and Outlast the Whistleblower is the Whistleblower technically was it just an add-on downloadable content?
It was an add-on, and I think it was, whereas the where the main game would you'd be able to complete it in I think about 4 or 5 hours or something.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's the length of the Whistleblower,
and then the length of Whistleblower is like 2 hours maybe. I think.
Yeah, that's the reason why they made it stand out in people's minds is although it's shorter, they wanted to throw in crazier elements. That was insane.
And it was definitely, it had some really creepy stuff, but I just liked the first one because of the story progressed to the point.
Oh yeah, that it did. Yes. And so now high off the success of the first two, now we got a third one coming out. What date is that coming?
I want to say last time I checked they were shooting for close to, I think they wanted either an early 2017 or a late 2016, but it might have changed from then.
So
because I know they put out the demo for E3
that's right.
year.
Yeah.
And so that's where they kind of wanted to either get it out like towards Halloween this year, or
So you're saying that the demo has not been released in the public yet?
I haven't checked on that. I know that I saw like a lot of sites were covering the demo and stuff at E3 and so on.
I've already seen a Let's Player already cover that. So that's what got me intrigued into the whole story of it.
And I do know that they have sent out the demo to people to play it and show it off.
Exactly.
But I don't know if it's publicly available.
So have you seen the demo?
Oh yes.
So yeah, that one too.
I already like it more than the original because of the setting.
Yes.
Because I always, again, I think mental hospital's overplayed. I like the idea of a rural, like one building versus an entire town of things that want to kill you.
That is true. Yes. So yeah, that brings up to what I was going to bring up in the demo. It was it's not a mental asylum. This time it is a rural town, and Swan, this is where things get really crazy because it's basically, again, we got journalists who suddenly starts to investigate towns that are far away from civilization. Like think of a small town in the middle of a desert, and
it's kind of Western themed.
Kind of Western, and their style predates back to like old timers basically, but it is sort of modern in that they have schools and things like that. But what makes it creepy is it's a small town in the middle of nowhere. So you can kind of think of the Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes.
But a whole town of creep.
Kind of like a Silent Hill.
Okay, no,
where the premise is everyone in this town knows this place is really bad. You're the only person left out of the loop of how wrong everything is.
So the demo is crazy. Yeah, I'm using that word a lot because that's all, for lack of a better word, that's all I could think of.
That is the best way to describe Outlast. It is insane. It is crazy.
So you have a guy, he's walking through the town and like it's so run down. You got old dilapidated houses, but there's like viscera and flies swarming all over the place, and you're like, what the heck is going on? You investigate further. Eventually you get through this classroom, and then it messes my mind up because I was thinking of
it just jumps because it like 1 minute you're in a wooden rundown building and the next you're in what would be a pretty modern classroom.
A modern classroom, but yet they're taking on paranormal type of elements like you've seen suddenly this dark spirit or ghost of hands just pull up a dead carcass.
And the theming for this one, the last one was very focused on crazy blood gore, all that unsettling imagery. This one has a more focus towards what looks like children, actually.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, because as you're journeying, you see a pile of what was it? Dead babies.
There's a pit of dead babies that you have to walk across.
Yeah, you're walking through. Think of a walk-through cave. Like there's tunnel on both ends. You go in, but then you see this weird pedestal, and then
where there's like a manger and it's got hay in it, and then it's covered in blood, and then like the next area is a pit of dead babies,
and then like they're tying in a strange cult that deviates from all the stuff that we've are accustomed to. Like again, they're bringing in this really horrible twist of this religion, and at the end of when you finally exit the classroom, you're walking through the cornfield, and suddenly, this is what I love the most. There's a speaker blaring, and you got the guy who probably runs the whole thing. He's it's playing whatever sermon he had, and so he's talking about their God and stuff like that as you're escaping and you're being chased.
Yeah.
That sort of feeling is just absolutely insane. And that
is insane.
You can tell that you got another town that's probably inhabited by people who strongly believes in their cult, that they go into extreme levels just to follow it.
And I kind of wonder if they're going to tie it back to, like, this is a town that, like, much like the priest worships the whistleblower, or the wall rider. I wonder if they worship the wall rider.
Or what if it was the insane people from the asylum, they escaped? Because
some of them escaped,
and so they congregated into this town and built a civilization over it.
What if the priest or the preacher guy from the other game had an altar boy and he escaped?
You did have underlings. Unfortunately, all of them were naked, but some of them can put on a uniform.
Yeah, and then one of them starts a new church.
What was interesting, though, Swan, is that his followers had a very different apparel than what he had. The main priest donned on the priest suit. But
it was also, and I have to say, I love his design, because it's not only is it like a, what you would see a normal priest, the black and everything, but it was also kind of looks like a straitjacket, where it was a cross between the two.
Yes.
To drive home the point that he is a crazy priest.
And then his underlings wore, I like to call it Egyptian style apparel. Like they got the golden thing around their necks, and they have their own. Very
bottoms, little clothing, but a lot of jewelry for some reason.
That's just weird.
Yeah. So look out for the third one. What's it called?
I think it's just Outlast 2. Yeah. And like the big motif is, I think it's Christianity, because like the T in Outlast.
Oh yeah, it was an upside down.
Yeah.
It was an upside down cross, but it was set on fire.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah,
there's these weird themes of like maybe it's religion based, and maybe it's kind of dark with involving death of children. I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, there were a lot of ghost stuff that they threw.
Ghost stuff. You got ghosts. You got crazy, just cult stuff happening. And again, children is a big theme because of the baby. And then like the classroom you take into is like for an elementary school.
Exactly.
It's like a preschool or something. So it was like. So I'm guessing the themes are like kids and religion and stuff like that, and it definitely, I'm very excited for it. Nice. It looks like it's going to be a really awesome story, and I love the ghost or the monster, what have you, at the end.
Yeah,
they really stepped up the whole. So mini spoiler for Outlast 1. You end up getting, what was it, your pinky and ring finger cut off by the doctor?
Yeah. He had these big sheer scissors that he cut.
And he just
actually
snipped.
No, it was the pinky and the middle finger.
It was the pinky or the ring and the middle finger.
Yeah.
And he just snips them off. They took it a step up, and that was like the biggest mutilation that happened to the main character.
Yeah.
They took it up a notch, and at the end of the demo for the second one, he just gets his groin smashed. with like a big sledgehammer.
I'm really starting to like this movie.
By the lady, the deranged lady.
Yeah.
She was heavily mutated and like had like this huge veil covering more than half of her face. But she takes him, throws him down, and he grabs the big thing and goes down.
Yeah.
And you see the view pan down. I was like, oh my goodness! And then she gives him the fatal blow. So basically, in the new one, you'll be the next person who comes in to the reports of people being killed, and you're gonna see what the heck is going on.
And that's where I also kind of wonder, they're probably tying it back in because if she's wearing a veil, I wonder if she's the bride.
Ooh,
or, and again, it could also go with religion where, there's the bride in Christianity and stuff like that. Because, again, they're using the cross very heavily in this.
All right, so
pretty good.
Let's move on to the random question of the day. So this one comes
out from... I don't get
to
talk about video game, whatever.
I'm sorry,
whatever. I don't get to talk about video game, well, fine, whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
What do you... Please, enlighten us. What do you know about
I don't want to
this?
talk about it anymore. No.
Convenient.
No. Well, what's your favorite horror video game? Let's just...
Well, I'm going to throw it back to the past for me, just to save some time. It's going to be... Zombies Ate My Neighbors for Super Nintendo and Sega. Yep. That's the only game I can actually beat you in. This guy is famous for telling us, I don't know how to play this game, and smashes every one of us.
I did not say I don't know how to play this
game.
No,
you're like, I didn't play this in a long time, I may not remember. Then, Hadouken, sure you can, and I'm like, you're like with every character beating all of us.
It was like riding a bike, that's what I figured out.
No, you hustled us, that's right.
I did not intend to hustle, but...
No, that's what you
Was there money on the table?
No, there was...
I'm kind of glad there was no money on the table, because my shirt would be on the table with my hands. But yeah, I would say Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Zombies.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'll even the score. Let's play the hardest level that I know, but you don't. Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't play the game that long, so it wasn't hustling. No, but it's anything. If I had to throw out to any obscure titles, it's stuff like Monster Madness, Battle for Suburbia, Grab by the Ghoulies. I like playing the stuff that's really obscure to people nowadays. Like, even if it's for Xbox 360, Dead Rising is another one.
Well, we have our mutual favorite of Illbleed.
Oh, yes. Illbleed is another one you got to check out. Have you heard of that?
No, but I will.
Oh, Nick, train the guy.
Oh, man.
Well, do your pitch in 30 seconds.
Okay.
We're stressed for time.
Just Cabin in the Woods, no fear.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's good enough for me.
So, what is the random question of the day?
The random question of the day, this one is a submission from the Blu-ray Hoarder now. So, basically, we are all playing Pokemon Go now. His question is, if we were to invent our own Pokemon, what would it be and what's its name?
Hey, Nick, you can...
I'll start, sure.
Yep.
When I was 8, I made one.
Mm-hmm.
And back when I was 8, it was supposed to be a starter, and it was going to have 3 forms, and it was going to be a kitten, or it started off as a cub, then sort of in between, and then it ended up being a lion. And I came up with a name for the first and second form. I didn't ever get to coming up with a name for the middle form. And the first form was like cub or sin cub, like it was supposed to be like cinders and cub together. And then the final evolution was Roar.
Roar. Yeah. That's
and
good.
it was a tiger or a lion with a big flaming mane and stuff and all that, and I loved it. And I want to, and I know some people are thinking that's just Pyroar. No, I created it first. If I had the book, I would prove it.
All right. For me, I would.
So let me throw this out. If the people at like Nintendo wants to take these ideas, please call us before doing it.
This is my OC. Please don't steal things.
Yes, don't steal things off of mine, especially. But Aaron,
so because it was given by the Blu-ray Hoarder, I thought of unwanted movies and DVDs, VHS, and Blu-ray.
Is it a ghost type?
No, it'll all merge together to form a humanoid like Pokemon.
You mean like
shape.
Magnemite has magnets and it just
exactly.
Forms?
It'll come together.
Inorganic Pokemon, you're saying?
Yeah, it'll all come together. It's just one form, but they've come together, and the name is Unseen.
That's actually pretty cool. Like unknown.
Hangs out with the unknown.
Yeah.
Is its evolved form Cameo?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Now there's merging with unwanted stars.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Or would the final form be B-list?
B-list.
Yeah. For me, I think about the most trolling way possible. I want to make a first form to the first form. So if there's like a Pichu, I want to make a Pichu to the Pichu called Choo Choo. Like if I could just take any or all Pokemon that has like, you know, like how Electabuzz was all attaching to Electabuzz, then it had like Elekid. I want to just troll people and just go, I want to go one step back before that it hatches to something else, like a fetus of an Electabuzz or something. Or like just
so
a mouse covered in the placenta of Pikachu's. Like, you know, like stuff that's just really weird looking.
Why are you using this stuff now? That would have been great for when we were talking about horror games.
It's horrifying. Like, honestly, could you just imagine you just see the embryo and that's it? It's just like a talking...
It'll just be the plug-in of a cord.
I'll show you Solus after we're done.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then I want the first attack it knows is Bolt Tackle.
Which is just the 2 prongs sticking right
but give the strongest attack Pikachu probably knows in the series to its very first form.
Okay.
Then I'll probably troll it later on going to a first form after that. But if anything, and I want to just make an original, unique one, it'll be something where the name is so long no one will pronounce it.
Oh.
Where not even the creator could pronounce it.
Nice.
Not even I could pronounce it. Like, that's how bad I want it.
Cool.
It could be like the dolphin sound. I don't know.
All right, so let's wrap it up right now. So big thanks to Maui Comics and Collectibles. Follow the store on Facebook and Instagram at Maui Comics. If you did enjoy this episode of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans and would love to see more into the future, please feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and also do feel free to leave us your very own random question of the day, which will be answered into the next episode. And also for figure reviews and more, do check out the Rave Corner. It is myfavorave.blogspot.com. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Rave Corner podcast. So do check out the Rave Corner channel. The Rave Corner podcast episodes are posted on there as well for you to listen. It's featuring me and Daniel Wimplo86 and guests if we do have them. Swan, is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, come and check out Nerdwatch at Nerdwatch Nation on YouTube. We also have a podcast as well that takes place on Akaku, Channel 55, from 8 to 9. Nick, anything you want to plug in?
Or shout-outs you want to make?
Swan. Oh. Shout out to Swan. He's a cool guy.
Oh, wow, thank you. Wow.
What about the guy who invited you to the show? Yeah. So this will be the last appearance of Nick.
I will give a shout out to the Rave Corner for figure review videos.
Thank you.
There you go. Yes, I'm not that much of a jerk.
Thank you. All right. So until then, thank you for checking us out. We will see you next week. So until then, take it easy.
All right, guys. We'll Pikachu.
Pichu. No, Choo-Choo.
Yes, Choo-Choo is going to be a new Pokemon,
which is
in
just
the Aloha region.
2 Pichus holding
or
hands.
the Aloha region.
Aloha.
Aloha.
All right. See you.